Hey, if you're looking to save some money, you might be exploring the secondary market, but you need to know some things. Today, we're going to talk about the differences between the secondary market and traditional IT resellers for your supply chain. So the first thing you might want to know about the secondary market is, where does all this equipment come from? It really comes from you. Companies every day are decommissioning equipment and selling it out to resellers, recyclers, IT asset disposition companies, and even their traditional VAR and trade-in. So it's really coming from you. A second way that equipment enters the market is that distributors and resellers resell equipment that's been returned or they have in overstock. And a third way that equipment comes available that's often next to new is that CIOs can come in with a cloud migration project or a data center move, or there's a merger acquisition, and equipment just gets liquidated. And sometimes that equipment is next to new, almost new technology. So in the secondary market, you can really find a plethora of equipment, and that's where it comes from. A second question people ask a lot is, what type of equipment is available? Most people think that just parts are available in the secondary market, but you actually go buy completely configured systems dialed in for your exact configuration and needs. But it's important to work with someone who understands how to design solutions based on this equipment. So we're going to talk about some of the things you can buy on the secondary market. You can buy not only parts, but you also could buy completely configured systems designed for your exact needs and specifications. You can buy servers, storage, network equipment, laptops, all kinds of personal components, parts, a lot of different things from most manufacturers like HPE and Dell EMC and NetApp and Cisco and Lenovo and just about every major manufacturer. And most manufacturers actually have a used program as well. IBM has IBM Global Finance, Dell has Dell Finance, you got HP, Reman. So all these major manufacturers actually participate in this market and sell their excess return items and also just excess inventory out to the secondary market as well. So here's some things to know about the secondary market. The most important thing is probably the software. That's a common question we get asked. So once you get the equipment in your data center, you cannot update the software. Sometimes you can buy equipment that comes with a SmartNet agreement, such as Cisco. Cisco has a refurb program where you can buy equipment with a Cisco warranty agreement, so you can update the iOS. But a lot of equipment on the secondary market you can't. But that's actually not an issue, because if you look at all your infrastructure, a lot of the infrastructure you haven't updated in years. So if you don't need to update the iOS or the operating system, and it's locked in and you haven't been doing that, there's no reason to continue to update the software. So you've got to make that decision and figure out, is this a right solution for me? The second thing you need to know about the secondary market is there's different types of players. There's people on eBay that sell parts but don't design solutions. And there's more of other people who design solutions and use a pre-sales engineering expertise and engineers to design hardware that's completely configured and custom configured for you and your team. So there's different types of players, and you want to make sure you establish a relationship with a reseller, with an engineering team well in advance, so that they can start to build a relationship with you, understand your infrastructure, and understand what you're trying to do. The other thing is the availability. The secondary market is a great place to find equipment in a pinch and find it really fast. Typically, parts can be shipped overnight, and systems can ship out same day to up to 7 days. It really depends on the configuration and the complexity of what you're trying to buy. The third thing is really the savings that can be yielded from the secondary market. The savings typically ranges anywhere from 50% to 80% compared to when buying new equipment. And when you're comparing with doing a refresh, where you refresh infrastructure versus extending the life, I mean, the savings is like 95%. So saving time and saving money is a real benefit of the secondary market. So where can the secondary market be a part of your strategy? One of the biggest ways we see it is people who have end-of-life and end-of-service life equipment in their infrastructure. Even with a big bank who tries to replace equipment every 3 years, there's going to be equipment that falls through the cracks. A secondary market specialist can help you upgrade and extend the life of that equipment that's end-of-service life and end-of-life. And at Reliant, we actually have an IT asset management platform to track all these assets and tell you when they are arriving at end-of-life and end-of-service life. Another place people use the secondary market is when they've got a project and they just have a tight budget. A player like us can review all of the bill of materials and identify the parts that could be sourced on the secondary market and blend a new and used solution to bring the cost down. Another way we can do it is just take a look at your requirements. Let's just say you have a vSAN project or a VMware project and you want to buy a new cluster of servers and you want to buy 10 servers, but you've only got the budget for 5. We can go back and forth with you and design a solution using typically the latest generation servers or maybe one step back to give you the performance and capacity that you need. And the fourth thing, talking about performance and capacity, if you've got a performance or a capacity issue for a system, I would just challenge you to run it by a secondary market player and tell you what options are available to upgrade the performance and capacity of that networking device, server, or storage array. A final place we see people using the secondary market is when you need to rent equipment for a bridge project. Let's say you're moving a data center or you're moving to the cloud and you don't know how long you're going to need either the capacity or the performance to get the job done. A company like Reliant can rent parts and systems to you to extend the life of a system or just provide you bridge capacity as you move assets over and then buy the other assets back from you. So if you're looking for flexibility with equipment or you're just trying to get things shipped quickly, a secondary market player could be a good option for you. So another final thing is you might be thinking is, how do I test the waters with the secondary market? I've never bought equipment from the used market, or I might be concerned about it. The best time to start asking is right now before you have a need. I'd look at your projects and look at all the projects around dev, test, QA, and DR, where you might be looking to upgrade any of that infrastructure, and just start to talk about where you might see constraint in that infrastructure over the next 3 to 6 months, and run it by someone who has a consultative sales process that can walk you through your requirements and bring their engineers to bear to show you what options are available. Another thing is if you've got a project on the table, you can run it by a secondary market provider and they'll show you what options correlate with what you're trying to buy. The equipment you're trying to buy right now might not be available in the secondary market, but you might be able to buy 2 or 3 times more capacity or performance and really just design a solution that's just as effective as what you're trying to buy from your new value-added reseller. So if you're looking to explore the secondary market, Reliant Technology, the company I work for, provides a free consultative experience and service to walk through a project with you and design options that will meet your performance, capacity, and availability needs. We have server, storage, and network hardware from all the trusted manufacturers, fully tested, and we can wrap it with third-party maintenance. Hey, if you like this video, like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and we look forward to helping you today. Thanks again.